So you've done it. You went on and got yourself an Everlastwelders laser welder. What I'm going to go over here is how to properly get the machine out and properly set it up. We're not going to do welding in this video. I just want to make sure that you understand the importance of getting it out of this box safely and getting all the connections right before you get started. So the first thing is when you get this, it's going to come in a crate much like this. What you're going to want to do is take the lid off first. It is nailed down all the way around. Have prepared a hammer, a pry bar, a couple chisels, and a 10 snips. Now, I like using the chisels. I will take the chisel, I will go to the side of the lid here and just relieve that nail up a little bit, just enough for me to use the hammer and pry it out. You can also use this pry bar as well. The only reason I didn't like that, because of the thickness of it, it does take quite a bit more of hitting with that hammer. And again, we're here to protect the machine, getting it out of the box and prevent any damage. That's why I like suggesting these chisels right here. And once you get to that point, you will be able to remove the lid for video purposes. Obviously, this one's off. Now the 10 snips, what these are going to be for is the side caps that you have here. It's a very thin gauge material. The 10 snips cut right through it, no problem. You can also take a 4.5 inch grinder with a cutting wheel and just cut the corners off all the way around and you're good. You do not want to take this pry bar and a hammer and just start beating the crap out of that until everything breaks free, because that laser is right here. And if you do something to cause any damage to that machine, it's not going to be good, because we wanted to come out of this box brand new without a scratch. So let's go ahead and get this lid off and show you what it looks like on the inside. Let's go ahead and get the lid off of this thing and set it to the side. As you will notice, this crate is very well built and everything is nicely protected. We'll go ahead and take and throw this to the side of this trash. And again, you know, you can tell I've been in this already. That's okay. Just take you a little pocket knife or razor blade, whatever you have available. Go ahead and crack this open. And on the inside here, what we have is our little toolbox with all our necessary tools to get everything set up. So we want to get that pulled out to the side. We will have the laser welding protective hood there. We will have the handles for the top of the laser welder. We will have your work clamp here and also some connectors for your wire feeder. So we'll go ahead and pull this box out and get it set to the side. Next, what we have here is a piece of styrofoam, obviously. It's not snow. It's gonna have your single phase 240 plug here, 3-prong. What we're gonna do is just lift up this styrofoam, which is going to reveal the top side of your laser welder. At this point, after you get all the corners cut on it, just simply pull back on the walls, the panels here all the way around, and remove them out of your way. So where we're at now is I have the walls removed off of the crate, exposing the laser welder, and right up here is the wire feeder. So what I'm going to do, and I highly suggest this, if you get one of these systems, get the Power Cart 330. It fits in there perfect. You can put your tank on there, you can stack your wire feeder, and everything is together. So check that out. So what I'm going to do now is get this on that cart, and I'll be right back. As you can see, the Red Sabre 2000 with the wire feeder does fit on the Power Cart 330, which is an awesome addition. I do believe if you order one of these systems, make sure you get the Power Cart with it. Makes life a lot easier. So let's go ahead and show you what was in the box with some of the other accessories and get the machine, the back of the machine plugged in so you can see exactly where all the wires go. Okay, what we have here is just some of the accessories that come with the machine when you do receive it. Except for this. This is Everlastwelders laser welding hood. I highly suggest getting one of these. This thing is really nice. I think right now it's running $650. Not only is it a laser welding hood, but you can also use it in arc welding as well. So definitely check that out. Reach out to me, LaserTech, at Everlastwelders.com. We can discuss this further, and I will also be having a YouTube video for this to give some more specs on it. But let's move on into what's in the box. So they're not going to send you a laser that's going to keep you unprotected from your eyes. It does come with a full face shield that is rated for laser welding. It also comes with a pair of glasses, goggles, however you want to name them, for laser welding, along with a nice little case to keep them in and keep them protected. These pieces right here, the handles, I did not put on the laser welder itself because I have the wire feeder stacked on top of it. And this little green bag here, this is going to be inside the wire feeder. It's going to have some drive rollers in here. It's going to have your gas line. It's going to have your liner for your wire. Right here, showed this to you earlier. This is going to be your work clamp, so you can call it your ground. But yeah, that'll connect to your workpiece, whatever you're welding on. These cables here are going to be going from your wire feeder to the laser welder. Also in here, it does have the operator instructions for you. And it has this little cool little case with it. Inside of it, you're going to have a various set of nozzles depending on the positions you're welding, wire type, so on and so forth. So you're covered there. It does come with some extra protective lenses. It is a good idea to also order some of these to have in stock, just like any other consumables. You shouldn't be burning through them all the time, but it is just one of those things. Have some on standby, but it does come with them to get you started. Also comes with some Allen keys so that you can actually work on your machine and the gun head if need be. This is a little tool for the Allen keys itself. We have two different door safety switches right here that plug into the back of the machine, and I will show you where these go in just a second. There's a USB drive in here for information on that machine. It comes with another focusing lens, and this focusing lens is going to be for your cleaning function of this machine. And when we go over this machine, we'll talk about that, and I'll show you how to install it as well. There is other videos on Everlast YouTube for you to go check out that goes into some great depths by Jesse on how to do a lot of this stuff. And then you're going to have a data cable here as well, which keep all this stuff in a safe location. And this is going to be the keys to operate the machine. These are very important. Do not lose them. So that's everything there that came in the box. Now let's go ahead and start plugging some stuff up so you can see where it goes. Starting out, we're going to have this orange tube right here. This is going to be your gas line. It does not have a fitting on either side, as you can tell. One end is going to go to the welder. The other one is going to go to the regulator with the barb fitting, and we'll get to that in just a second. What this is going to do is just press directly into the back of the machine, nice and firm, just like so. Let's set this down and let that hang. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and hook up our safety clamp. And this is our safety clamp. Just has a simple plug and play. Press that right in there. And we're going to set that to the side as well. The next thing we're going to do here is hook up our wire feeder control. And on this, you're going to have caps that you need to unscrew. This one is for the wire feeder power. This one is for the wire feeder control. And as you can see, this one only has 3 prongs on it. And this one has multiple. Let's see, how many does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 prongs. So what you're going to do is just find the appropriate prong that goes into that wire feeder. Just like so. This one's the 3 prong. It will only fit one way. And what's important, when you put this on, make sure you are threading it down all the way. Nice and snug. Do not torque it down, but you definitely want it snug. And we're going to do the same thing over here for the control side. Screw that right in. Just like so. Nice and snug. Okay, that's good. And then up here on the wire feeder itself, you're going to have 2 places to also plug directly in. Same thing. These plugs can only go in one way, so you cannot mix these up as long as you're looking at what you're doing. Nice and snug. And final one, nice and snug. The next part we will put in is going to be the safety latch switch, which is right here. So we'll unthread that cap. We'll grab our safety switch over here out of our yellow box. Now it's going to come with two. This one is going to be if you have a safety switch connected to a door. If you're welding, that switch will disengage, which will then cause the laser to cut off. But right now we're going to use this one, which is a bypass, so we don't have to have that other one. So we're just going to plug that straight into the back. And again, thread that down all the way, nice and firm, and we're good. This button back here is going to be for your power, your on and off. And this one right here is going to be for your data cable if needed. This one is going to be if you're running a cobot or robotic system. This is what this plug is for. So let's get around to the side of the machine and get some wire in the wire feeder. Okay, so now we need to go ahead and get our liner installed. Before I add my wire, which I do like using Victory Welding alloy, this is a 70S6 wire, 16th inch. It's a bigger wire, but I like to use that. But before we can add this, we need to go ahead and get our liner installed, and you're gonna need a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get the door open here. And this machine does come with extra drive rolls. So what we have here is the 1.6 V groove, 1.2 V groove. We also have a 1.2 U groove and a 1.6 U groove. We also have a 1.0 V groove and a 0.8 V groove. But because I'm using a 16th inch wire, I need to use the 1.6. Now the 1.6 should be facing you when you place your drive rolls in the machine. So we're going to go ahead, place those in there just like so. And there's cotter keys that do lock it in place. Then there's going to have these little locking thread nuts that we're going to just spin right in on there to lock that down. Go ahead and prep that out before we get our liner and wires set. Okay. Just like so. This is just like any other MIG welding machine, so pretty simple process. But now let's go ahead and add this liner so you can see exactly what we're doing. Okay, with the liner, you're going to want this end right here that does not have the nut and washers on them. So we're going to put the other end to the side. We're going to gently place that down. Right here is a Phillips head screwdriver, or a Phillips head. You want to go ahead and unthread that. You're going to run this through the front of the machine, your liner here. You're going to go through the hole. I'm going to open this up so maybe you can see better. What I like to do is I push this. It feels like I need to bring this out a little bit more. Okay. I push this up until I feel it touch the drive roll, and then I back it off about 1/8 of an inch. You do not want that rubbing the drive roll, obviously. So then we'll just snug that up. We're not going to torque it down, nice and snug. And then that's all that takes, and your liner is now installed. Now let's go ahead and get our wire put in. Okay, to get started, we're going to go ahead and unthread this nut here that keeps the wire from sliding off of the reel. We'll set that over here to the side. So this is a bottom feeder, so the wire needs to run this way into this part right here so that it goes through the liner. I always like to kind of line this little knob up to the side so it's easier for me to see when I slide that wire in. Now, got my wire here. We're going to place it here, just like so. There's a heavy dude right there. I'm going to make sure I'm lined up with that knob on the back. We are good to go. Thread this back on, tighten it up, and there it is. So now I'm going to grab my cutters, roll this around to my wire. Okay, cut this end off. Just like so. And then we are going to thread this directly in here. Obviously, we are going to have to undo our clamps there so that we can get the wire to freely spin through. Just like this. We're going to go straight into the liner. Okay, and now that we are there, I'm going to lock this in. And now we are set. For the 16th inch wire, I like to set this around 3. And then when we get the machine going, I will fine tune from there. So that's all that takes for that. Then just come back here, shut the door, has a little latch on it, and we are good to go. So let's go ahead and get our liner attached to our laser welding gun. We're going to set this here to the side. I like using the lid here as a little tray to hold my parts. We're going to take this top nut off here, just like so. We're going to remove the second nut, set it down, and then we are also going to remove one washer. So we're going to leave a washer and a nut. I want you to go ahead and just back this nut off a little bit. You'll see why here in a second. Now on this handle here, you have an option. You can take this piece off and just use this one. But just because we're assembled already, I'm just going to leave it all together. What you're going to do is on the inside here, you're going to run your liner tube straight through there like this. You're going to take your washer, place it there. You're going to grab your flat nut, you're going to run it down. And then I like to have a little more distance here. And we will get into how to line that up fully here shortly. Just going to barely snug this up. Put that nut back on there so we don't lose anything. And then we're going to rotate this down just to kind of get it out of our way for now. Just like so. Okay. And then right here, next, what we're going to need is our focusing tube. This piece right here. And on the side of it, it is going to be numbered. And it's going to be numbered from, let me get it to where you can see it, from 10 all the way to -10. But what we're going to set it at is 0. So what we're going to have to do here is remove this little rubber grommet from the gun. We're going to loosen this nut here, just like so. We're going to gently, very gently place this in here. I'm going to run this down just a little snug to where I can still freely move this around. I don't want to tighten it up and then force it because you can wind up ruining that focus tube right there. So that's a little too tight, so I'm going to loosen it up just a little more. That's perfect. Now I'm going to set that 0 to the edge of this nut right here. So let me find my 0, and I'm going to place it there. Now is where I'm going to tighten this down. Again, hand tight, just snug. Don't go torquing this thing down and mess anything up. Next, what we're going to do is grab a tip or a nozzle out of the end of this, or out of this case here. And again, we're going to gently thread this into the gun. Perfect. And the next steps, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to get your contact tip and everything ready and show you what this looks like. Now we're going to walk around together. We need to get that wire ran through the liner. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our key here. We're going to place it, I'm going to call it the ignition. That's what I call it all. Or in the lock, whatever. Just like so. Then we're going to come around here to the back of the machine. We're going to flip on the power switch, just like this. Come back to the front. We're going to lift our door here, just so we got a better view. There is a plastic film on here. You can take off if you like. I like to take it off because this thing has a beautiful display and I like to see all of it. And the safety stop switch here is going to be pushed in. So you need to turn it, release it. Then we're going to come over here, turn the key. System is powering on. We're going to come up here to the wire feeder itself, and we're going to manually feed the wire through the liner. What we're going to do is select up here on these numbers, and we're going to go ahead and type in 300. Going to click OK, and we're going to push and hold the manual wire feed button. Now what that's doing is engaging those drive rollers and running that wire through this liner. Now what I'm looking for is I want this wire to extend out of this liner to a couple inches in front of this nozzle. Well, went right through the paper towel. There we go. And that's about right. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our wire feeding tube installed on the gun. You want to have this bracket here loose so that you can freely move it around. This is going to be a fairly simple process, but you're going to want to grab your tube here. I am using a 16th inch wire, so you want to use a 1.6 inch tip. We're going to go ahead and thread this onto the tube, just like so. Then you want to make sure your nut here is loose. Pull that back, slide the tube over the wire into your nut. Now, this is where I keep everything loose so that we can get everything tightened up the way it should be. On the bottom of your nozzle there's going to be a groove, and that is what the wire is going to rest in, just like that. Okay, so when I do this, what I like to do is slide the wire feeding tube up till it touches the nozzle. Everything is completely lined up, as you can see. Then I'll snug down this nut here, and I come over here, just keeping a little pressure with my finger on the liner so nothing separates. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this bracket nut just like so. Then we want to grab our wrench and tighten this nut up here. Now everything should be good to go. You can go ahead, trim off that wire right there and get rid of the excess. So let's move on to getting your gas line hooked up. You'll notice each end of this gas line that comes with the machine does not have a fitting on it. Now it does not come with the barb fitting, so you will have to supply your own. There's a couple different options that you can make this happen. The first one is going out and getting a single barb fitting 1/4 inch with an adapter to hook to your gauge. The other option is to get a barb to barb fitting 1/4 inch, and you can slide it into this end here of this gas line, cut an old gas line that you have that's still good, and then slide in the other, connecting them both. Now, what I'm going to be using is actually the SUA gas equipment flow meter, and the reason I am is because it's already set up for everything for what I need, so that's why I'm moving on to this. Now, what I have set up here is because if you're using the laser cleaning function on this machine, you want to have compressed air, a constant 60 psi. So what I did is I cut about 6 inches of this orange gas line off. I have a 1/4 inch barb fitting going into this valve here. It's a little ball valve, and then going into an air compressor fitting. This way, when it's in the back of the machine, you can turn the gas off and turn it on. So just wanted to show that that is an option that you can do so that you can have the air compressor hooked directly to your machine. Let's go ahead and get on to hooking our gauge up to our gas line. Now the SUA gauge here already comes with all the appropriate fittings you're needing on different configurations that you may have in your shop, but the one that I needed was specifically for the barb fitting. Now I always tape every one of my fittings. I'm a big fan of that. You never know what happens in the future, and just that little added protection. No, it's not mandatory, but I still recommend it. Now all I'm going to do is just simply take my barb, the proper fitting here, drop that in, screw this onto the gauge like so. Then you want to take your hose clamp, slide it onto the gas line. And then what you're going to do is push this up onto the barb, slide up your hose clamp and tighten it down, and you should be good to go to hook this up to your tank. Now you want to make sure that you are running, when you're using the laser welder, that you're running about 40 CFH. So it's very important to remember that. So we went over how to get your laser welder out of its crate properly and safely, getting all the plugs hooked up, how to run your wire through the liner, getting your gas line hooked up, and some of the products that come with your laser welder. Now it's up to you to make sure, as a responsible laser welding owner, that you follow the proper PPE procedures and also be careful of those around you. Now, as far as some of the settings and using the machine, I would suggest jumping onto Everlastwelders YouTube channel and watch Jesse with some of his amazing skills and knowledge with this machine. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, remember the laser welder, play it safe, and you'll be fine.